Sadashivatsamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Param Om Om Ishvara Namaste Shanti 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 Om. Okay, we have seen we are here, I don't know, on the still on the 11th chapter. We sing all the glories of the Lord, and then we have seen Krishna asking for total vision, Vishvarupa, or Viratishvara vision. And then Krishna said it's not possible because that requires maturity, and maturity cannot be faked. And then he said, doesn't matter, I'm a good friend of yours, fake my maturity for some time. And then Ishvara said, okay, I will do it, but the problem is that it's not going to remain. You are not going to get full benefit. Okay. And there is a chance that later on you may feel a little bit very sad because you have developed certain maturity and quality that uh, allowed you to see the beauty of this universe as the physical body of the Lord, designed intelligently to provide all human jivas the possibility to grow. So once you have that vision based on profound understanding, and if that is not fruit of your own effort, merit, and then you're going to lose it because it is faked. Later on, you may feel even more uh, suffering, more sadness, and so on. But anyhow, Krishna conceded to Arjuna's desire to have his eyes, the vision of wisdom, uh, produced to him temporarily due to the powers available to Maheshwara, and anything is possible. And Krishna, Arjuna was like, wow, 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 but anyhow, he could not let go of the image of Krishna representing Saguna Ishwara as this destroyer, because he was just crashing people that with whom Arjuna had great association and attachment, sentimental attachment. And he was kind of back and forth saying, no, no, stop, I don't want to see it anymore. But let me take a quick look. And then he take a quick look again. And then verse 22, he said, Rudras, Adityas, Vasus, Sadyas, Visvedevas, the two Asvins, Maruts, Pitrus, groups of Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and Siddhas are all looking at you with wonder. So he said that everybody is looking at you with wonder. Everybody who has that kind of maturity or darshana developed to see. Yeah? And as we know, Ishwara is all the time present as the full, the entire manifestation, the Vyavaharika, or the Virat, the body of Ishwara. And some people see, some people do not see. I want to see what Swam says, if he sheds some light on why Asuras and some other deities that supposedly are not really mature and qualified to have this vision, why they were seeing as well the glory and the beauty of Ishwara if they are the opposite to someone who develop those kind of qualifications. So everyone is looking at you with wonder. So if he would say everyone is looking at you with tremendous fear, and then we say, okay, the Asuras somehow seeing the destructive power of the Lord, and they're afraid. Duryodhana's army may be very much afraid, although they have the military army, they don't have Krishna with them. They may be very much afraid, and they can't see really the wonderment of the beauty of this Lord, but they see the power to destroy all of them. Huh? So let's see what Swam says in regards to this list of entities or deities, looking at the scene there in the middle of the battlefield in wonder, with wonder. So Arjuna is trying to say to all of us that Vishvarupa is accessible not only to me, but everybody here is here in this realm, from people, from others, subtle or other kinds of locus. They are all here looking at this, they all came here in this epic moment in the history to witness this, and they are all wondering because they can see your Vishvarupa nature. Huh? It's available for everyone who has this Divya Takshu. So as Swamiji says, the Lord, as the entire cosmos, is always available every moment of creation. So, and then it's not a question of the Lord being on and off, but our eyes of wisdom being somehow suffering from something that Swami in analogy refers as cataract vision. So materialistic people, they suffer from this cataract vision, meaning to say they only see matter, they don't see the spirit, and they don't see the intelligence order behind the matter. You understand? So it's a form of illness, and nicely present as a cataract vision problem, because it's a vision. It's not a vision through the physical eye, but an eye of wisdom that needs to be properly understood. I mean, all the time we have visions of things that we don't achieve those visions by any one of those five senses. Or we could say the combination of all the five senses is going to provide me a certain understanding. And then I say, by inference, I have used all the five senses. And now I have a vision that allows me to understand the law of relativity from Einstein. So it's a vision, not eye vision, but it's a cognitive, intellectual vision. So most people cannot see God, especially nowadays. And they have this problem, cataract vision, because of the self-centeredness, the so-called ahamkara and mamakara. Excuse me. I'm not inspecting my throat. Giving me a little trouble. Well, Swami puts it as every one of us have our own visions. And our visions, they are somehow filtered through this cataract kind of lens, or a vision that is covered up by my vasanas, my predispositions, my likes and dislikes, my raga dvesha. So I see the world. We can look into this analogy as a projection, or it as a filtering mechanism, We filter reality for what it is. In this case, Ishvara as this intelligent designed order very beautifully project for our sake by his grace. So due to certain ragged version, some ignorance, likes and dislikes, which are binding, it's somehow that vision of this Sagunishwara reality is filtered. Okay, so we can understand that as a projection or as a filtering mechanism that somehow I can't see things as they are. I see only things as matter and energy appearing as favorable circumstances or unfavorable circumstances. They are meeting my my ragged vesha or they are not. They are conforming to my ragged vesha or not. So this cataract problem denies the vision of the Jivatma. It somehow prevents Ishvara to understand that the entire cosmos is the body of God, the body of Ishvara. So what we have to work on? And here he's giving the remedy as well. He says we need to work on our ahamkara mamakara, our likes and dislikes. Because every time that we work on that, understanding the mechanisms and the suffering those mechanisms are producing and creating in our lives, only understanding is everything. Once we see the price we are paying to hold on to our hankara, mamakara, what I want, what I don't want, if I don't see the price, I don't let it go. We don't let it go. So, but once I work on my hamkara, mamakara, or my raga dvesha, and then this cataract vision illness is going to subdue or at least largely reduced. Again, Vishvarupa vision is available at all time, and only those with lesser, let's say Swami puts things in a nice perspective, lesser aha mama, lesser ego. Ego is nothing but human consciousness governed by likes and dislikes, binding likes and dislikes. So if we get to work on aha mama, and then my likes and dislikes become less and less binding, I begin developing uh, more discrimination and more to the point here, vairagya. I can take what I don't like with a different spirit, with a different attitude, and my intellect is not going to be as disturbed. Because what disturbs the intellect is not being able to take life as it comes. Demanding, no, it's not what I want. Oh, it's not what I want. Oh, shoot, blah, blah. This is mental, intellectual disturbance all the time. So everybody who has got some lesser ahamkara mamakara is already developing the vision of Ishvara as the entire cosmos. And then he says, and who are the people who are already getting some of this vision? And then Swamiji says that Arjuna presents a long list, owns 11 Rudras. These are all various groups of celestials in the higher lokas. I have told you before. In Svargaloka also several colonies are there. So some of them with better facilities, more punya available. Whoever has got there, meaning to say, deserve to be there, and is going to have a better understanding of what Krishna is saying here. And these celestial orders are state, they are realms in which might, or let's say collective orders, clustered together by similar minds, they available within, they say that the same realities within, one realities. There are all these things happening simultaneously. So you don't need to travel to one of these lokas. It's in here. It's just a question of your growth, your mind, the frequency of your thoughts, the nature of your thoughts, and so on. So several colonies are there in the battlefield. Some of them are for people who more merits to enjoy more punya. There are some also lesser facilities, in which people go And to exhaust some papa, let's say Indra has got special facilities, and Indra is there. He's up there on the highest possible Brahmaloka. But those are not self-realized entities, but they have this vision because they did so much sadhanas, tapas, and rituals. They have purified the mind, developed certain qualities, and then they understand the nature of Saguna God. They did not understand the nature of Nirguna God, but they understand the nature, they can see it. And right there, when Krishna made himself available to Krishna, all these people have the opportunity to tap in and take a look. Huh? So all these groups, known by different names, Rudras is only one group. Adityas, Dvasa, 12 in number. Okay. 8 Vasus, they are supposed to be prominent ones like cabinet ministers. So this is even higher entities, or I don't know. Others are like ordinary MLIs or MPs. What is MLIs?
I think that refers to something in India. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some administrative class perhaps in India.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. And then says others are more ordinary people belonging to administration or police force or whatever. These Rudras, Vasus, and Adityas have a special right to receive oblations in rituals. They are all called Huta Book Devatas. Okay, so I mean, we can imagine that the variation of mental states, and I see this locus as numberless numberless souls, somehow with similar mental states collectively projecting or producing those locus. That is my take, my understanding. I never went into this kind of thing. But just imagine, I mean, we can go through different states of our own mind in one single day. Just imagine all human jivas having all kinds of mental states all the time changing.
I've always,
Experience.
yeah, I've always thought that too, that all these different lokas are right here,
Yeah, that's
all
my
right
take.
here. Different people living in different lokas.
Yeah, a lot of people who, and it's not really science, but more this different kind of esoteric secret societies and so on. They talk about things on those lines. Everything is happening simultaneously. We can tap into each one of these different realms or dimensions, some people say, because they are just about different mental states. So now we have a mental state here that is somehow is hooked to a physical body. That's how, according to our scriptures, we can produce punya, or papa. But it's tough to be hooked to a very limiting physical body now in the process of decline and decay and sickness and death. But somehow this realm, this dimension here, the physical, allows us to have a very, very well structured environment in which we can interact, and have a better chance to connect the dots, and extract knowledge and wisdom. Because in the dream state, I always like to look at the dream state. The dream state, we can be there, we can watch and this and that, but somehow there is no structure. Things are changing all the time. The intellect is also in a kind of altered mode. The emotional body is more or less similar to here. If the things are favorable, you're gonna have great joy and happiness. If things are threatening, you're gonna be upset and angry or afraid. But here we are, physical body, physical realm, and there in the physical battlefield, Krishna is present himself, and there are all kinds of entities here and now from different orders of frequency of energies, that I take having the benefit of seeing that vision. I want to understand how asuras also can get that vision. Let's see if one address that. Okay. Sadhyas, another group of devatas are called sadhya. This another group devatas, okay. Then Maruti, another group of devatas, 49 in number. So these are all devatas, huh? 49 in number. Do not ask me. You are telling as though you have count them yourself. No, no, I just trust the scripture, and I'm repeating the scripture here like a parrot. Because when we go into esotericism or mysticism and these things, nothing can be really verified by logic, by experience, by analysis. He said, no, no, in the scriptures they have been saying that. The scriptures say 49, but if you want 48, it's okay. Whatever, most probably because there are some debates on the precision of these numbers, which is totally irrelevant. It's a set of devatas living in that kind of frequency of energy. Groups of Gandhavas, Akshas, Asuras, Siddhas, and so on, you should not, Sanghas, you should not. Sangha means groups, okay. Therefore, Sangha is not Devata. Sangha means groups. So all of them, all this group of people, which includes the Yakashats and Asuras. What is the meaning of Yakashats? I forgot. They are all appreciating the same vision of the Lord. Not only they are seeing you, they are also in wonderment, just like me. They are wonderstruck, like me. Vismitaha means Acharya Karita. Okay, more in the next class, and most probably Swami is not going to tell us why Asuras are there in that list. Let's see.
It's interesting, though, I looked at this same verse for Swami Dayananda, and he says that these are not ordinary suras because they would not be able to see Ishvara, but exalted souls like, and then he names a number of people who underwent a dramatic conversion to proper thinking. Then they were siddhas. So
Okay.
he's just talking about a few particular asuras.
I'm glad that he fixed it. So these are ex-asuras, if I understand. They were asuras, but they were converted to wisdom. Okay. And that point, yeah. Hello, Mark. Welcome back. Good job, Lynn. Very good. At least, somebody has somehow made some sense of this verse, at least to me. Blessed by Lord Krishna with the vision of Ishvara, having opened his Divya Kakshu, his eyes of wisdom or third eye, which means a qualified, appropriate mind, state of mind by which a person can see the Lord manifest as the physical universe. As we know, Arjuna is having that. He asked for that He insisted for that. Uh, and we have seen that he went through different phases. The first one is wonderment, as we know. The other one is maybe, if I remember well, it's just a appreciation, something. And the third one is a fear. So the first stage is a wonderment. Anything that's huge, it creates a sense of wonderment, as we know. Waterfalls is one symbol, ocean, and the universe is so vast. It makes our minds and intellects to wonder to the magnitude of this creation. So waterfalls in large quantity, like Niagara waterfalls. So it's a wonder people from different parts of the world go there to see. I think it is in Africa, somewhere in Africa, huh? Niagara.
Niagara is in upstate New York at the border of Canada and the US.
Okay, which one? There is a huge one in Africa as well that I
Yeah,
forgot.
there is. I don't remember the name.
That'd be Victoria.
Victoria
Victoria.
Falls.
Okay. And then we have here in South America as well, the huge waterfalls in what's the name? Sylvia?
Blank.
Blank, blank there, blank here. Okay. So anything that's huge in magnitude is going to
É Iguaçu?
Iguaçu. Iguaçu. Thank you. 5 million people visiting Niagara Falls, as it says here, every year. Why? Because it gives you a sense of wonderment. Also, another thing that gives us a sense of wonderment is silence, because this little canoe is that you go like this. Long ago, I was in a place I don't remember, but the person told me, "Go, you will have an experience." This was a very large, vast lake, and I thought, what is in it? Is because once you go there, and then you keep, going, you come to a place where there is such a silence. The noise here and there, they all disappear, and you are in that profound silence. When I was living in India, in Pune, there was a place we used to go to baths as well in the desert, that the silence there was so profound that we would like, you know. So we may have this feeling of wonderment in certain circumstances. Therefore, the first response is very beautiful. Poetically, Vyasacharya puts it as wonderment. Arjuna says, not only am I appreciating this vision, but everybody else who somehow showed up here, they are also appreciating, which means to say that they all had a certain development in terms of maturity or wisdom that allow them to identify the nature of Ishwara, of Ishwara is everything, everything. So it's not that Krishna is producing an epiphany on all these deities around there, no. Some people see, some people do not. He has produced a fake vision only to Arjuna, if we understand it well, because Arjuna insisted. And once we develop this level of spiritual maturity, we save ourselves a lot of trouble. We don't need to travel to India every year like some people do, like I used to do in the past, okay? To visit my favorite mountain, my favorite ashram. Huh? No, I know that Ishwar is available everywhere 24/7. So the next stage after the wonderment, and it's going to be described in the next verse. Oh Lord, verse 23rd. Oh Lord, people are frightened. Page 2013. Oh Lord, people are frightened by seeing your huge form, which has many mouths and eyes, which has many arms, thighs, and feet, which has many abdomens, and which is fierce with many tusks. So also, I myself am very frightened. What is many tusks?
Like an elephant has tusks, the bony protrusions that come. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. While appreciating Vishvarupa Arjuna, he was fixated with the mouths of the Lord. And he has briefly mentioned that before in the previous verse. Lord's mouth was described of huge conflagration of fire. Fire is a symbol of destruction, as we know. And here the Lord's mouth represents the time principle, that which puts an end to anything that was created. It's not the physical mouth that's being talked about in this verse, but the mouth represents the time principle. And the time not as the creator principle, but as the destructive principle. Kala has got all the three functions. Time is responsible for the origination, creation, maintenance, and destruction, beginning, middle, and end. Huh? So we have three elements which are all within time, and the last one is the one that Krishna, like most people, have a hard time to make peace with, and be grateful for. When you look at the Lord as the constructor, we feel very happy. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity. Thank you for maintaining this body, the second level. And then when time comes, the body is old. And then Shwara say, hey, what do you think about, find a new instrument of experience, let me take you out of this old body. And don't be concerned. You're going to get another one if you really insist. No? So the third one, people have a hard time to accept with appreciation in their heart. Because deep inside there is this fear, if I lose my physical instrument of experience, I may lose my existence as this Namarupa so and so. But therefore, the person has to be so clearly and firmly established in understanding that I'm none of these instruments. I am consciousness that which shines through this instrument. No Namarupa represents my true identity nature. Therefore, only then the individual is okay with giving back or allowing Ishvara to take it back, without any problem or concern. There is no fear that I'm going to lose my existence. And there is no doubt that Ishwara is going to provide me with another instrument, okay, to continue the journey of the soul. So this third principle, or the second principle sustaining, is referred to Vishnu in general. And the last one usually is referred in other contexts as Shiva, but here is referred to as Kala, the destroyer. When Lord Shiva is described in Sri Rudra, one of the nama is Kalaga Nirudraya. Okay, even Shiva here is connected to Rudra, which is one of the names of Kala Nirudraya. Here, Arjuna happens to see the mouth of the Lord, which represents this destructive principle. And when a person looks at the destructive principle, unless the person is very, very mature and satisfied, the person is going to feel threatened and not at all happy, no matter how much scripture studies the person did. So naturally, the emotion is a fear. My time has come. My time has come. So Bhagwan, as Shrishkarta, everybody loves, as the maintainer, everybody loves, but the destroyer is the problem. And this represents the principle that the Vishvarupa consists of pairs of opposites. If you have to worship Vishvarupa, you have to worship both sides. The side that gives you wonderment and the side that gives you fear. You cannot say, I love God, I understand God, I relate to God, but I reject the third part of God as the destroyer. So now it's one single package. In order to really have this relationship with Sagunishwara established in a way that I live a life of love, reverence, and gratitude, I need to accept by understanding. You know, the laws, among the laws, the most fundamental is that anything that is apparently created must be apparently destroyed. So this is the vision that takes all the three parts. Therefore, Lord is, as Vishvarupa, has these different principles producing different reactions. You must understand them as inseparable or complementary features, one package in common English language. You will not be frightened. If you see them as different principles, and the first and the last one is the opposite. One creates and the other destroys. And say, what kind of God is that? This God should make up its mind. Either he creates or he destroys. But to create, to destroy, create, to destroy. This because the person is under the spell of ignorance that compels the individual soul to identify with the physical body and say, if I lose the physical body, I lose my existence. You must learn to live, to look at them, upon them as complementary, whole. Otherwise, it will frighten you. And what is the first and most important pair of opposites? Birth and death. Those are the two opposite sides of the Vishvarupa. Anything that is born must be sustained and for sure will disappear, will be destroyed. So the beginning, the births and the deaths are the opposite. Things are born, is maintained, it's gone. Born is and gone. Born is and gone. Born is Brahman, is maintenance, is Vishnu. Gone is Shiva Tattva. Here he brings Shiva. Even in this moment in our body, several cells are appearing, they are existing and disappearing. So if I should appreciate born aspect of the Lord, I should prepare the mind to accept that the gone aspect must be accepted as well. We have no problem. I mean, in the beginning, most people have problem to get in contact with other people's deaths. Okay, so I still remember when I was on my very early 20s, an uncle, a very, very close to me uncle, somehow died somewhat prematurely. And I was attached to my uncle, and it was such a shock. It was the first contact I had with death. It blew my mind. I was there all the time, touching his head and kissing his head and so on, and crying, without understanding what's happening with me, you know. But that's how we're going to get in contact with death. And then slowly, slowly we say, okay, now it's a fact, death exists, but only to others. Yeah, only to others. This is very subconscious. No, it's never going to happen to me. For me, no. Others, it's okay. Birth and death are two sides of the same coin. The one who is born will have to die. The question is, how are you going to die? Consciously or unconsciously? No? Crying, kicking, and screaming, or just smiling and lovingly grateful for the opportunity. So we okay, but when the death knocks at our door, some people, and here there is, this is insightful as well. Swamiji says it like that. Some people, they develop certain wisdom, and this wisdom somehow warns out the attachment with one's own body. Okay? Why? Because it's old. There's not much fun to have an old body. The attachment with the old body begins going down because life is not that much fun as it used to be. But how about the attachment with your children? You understand? The children. So other people, I can accept my life, my death. I'm already 95. So I lived a good life and so on, but please, my children should not die before me. Birth and death are two sides of the same coin. How are we going to die? Sometimes, even if we can accept our own deaths, we do not accept the deaths of our children, for example, our husband, wives, and so on. Vishvarupa appreciation means I should accept both extremes, births and deaths, both as Mangala. I should not look upon one as Mangala and the other as a Mangala. Again, Mangala means what? Support.
Auspiciousness.
Auspicion, but it's very, very similar to the word support. Well, I think it's the same, huh? That means I have lopsided vision. Birth is Mangalam. Death is also Mangalam. Similarly, growth is Mangalam. Decay is also Mangalam. Coming together is Mangalam. Breaking apart is Mangalam. The day is Mangalam. The night is also Mangalam. All pair of opposites, they are complementary. we need to see them as integral part of God. There is nothing undivine to me, nothing has that is acceptable to me. This attitude is maturity or spiritual development. If this development, if this maturity is not there, Bhagwan will sometimes appear to be compassionate. At some other times, Bhagwan will appear to be cruel and unjust. The cruelty that I see in Bhagwan is not the cruelty in Bhagwan, but is an expression or indication of my inner immaturity. I see sometimes I listen to some people and for some interest I have, and then sometimes I get in contact with people who are connected to Christianity, and they have such a hard time to explain the all the evil happening in the world, and they have a deep understanding of the scriptures, you know, of their scriptures, but yet they don't bring karma and rebirth into the equation so that you understand that you must be somehow exhausting some papa here as well, you know, enjoying some punya. It's totally foreign to them because they have cut off the concept of rebirth is out of question. We were created here and that's it. From here we go to heaven, or, you know, or to hell. And if we don't have this vision, if we don't have this maturity, we're going to be living in contradiction. Sometimes the Lord is going to be compassionate, and sometimes He is going to be angry and cruel and revengeful God. So it is the cataract in my eyes, the ignorance in my mind, the uninformed notions, mistaken notions I have got from religions. And in this case here, Arjuna is not really fully matured and prepared for self-knowledge. And therefore, he is not able to withstand with equanimity, seeing both extreme sides of the Lord, the creation and the destruction, with the disease and so on. So that Bhagwan aspect, the destructive aspect, is being described now up to the verse 30. Visvarupa as a source of fear for immature people, ignorant people. People moved by, I want what I want, and I don't want what I don't want. If I don't get things my way, I am mentally, emotionally, and intellectually disturbed. So here it's said that, oh Lord, your Vishvarupa is indeed infinite, wonderful, but there must be a but. You have got countless number of face and eyes and so on. They are so beautiful. Not only there are many hands and arms and so on. Oh Lord, you have so many hands and fingers. Your stomachs are also many, many bellies. Oh Lord, sitting with many bellies, every belly is your belly. But I told you that there must be a but. Now comes the but. But there is one part of you I do not want to see. I can't stand it. If you show that part to me again, I'm going to close my eyes, and don't take it bad. Don't feel that I'm rejecting you, but know that I'm rejecting you because I'm not qualified enough to see you in your integrity. So some people, they go to the cinema in India, and then there are some violence, bloodshed, and so on, and people close their eyes in those violent scenes until they get over. Arjuna has come to a live horror movie, it seems. What is so terrible about that? He's seeing the destruction there, waiting for the battle to take place and destroying all these people, in the process. And he cannot see that war for what it is, cannot see the war as an expression as Ishwara, the sustainer, the one who comes as avatars to reestablish Dharma. He cannot have that vision. He only sees something very cruel in which so much bloodshed is going to take place. Arjuna says, your mouse is frightening me and everybody. Your tusks are terrible. You look like a mouse of a shark, of a tiger, or a shark on the sea, or something like that. So, you are really frightening. When I looked at, I saw that they are only for Rakshasas. But here I'm seeing in your mouth as well. I saw that I was going to see that only on those asuras and Rakshasas. But I see in you. So what is the contradiction here? And I have read in all the scriptures also that you are compassionate, love, and so on. You are pleasant to look upon. All of them have falsified this scripture passage because I'm seeing this destructive mouth of yours, which is frightening even the Rakshasas and the Asuras. And not one or two. You have countless of those sharpening tooths. Okay. And Arjuna says everybody is like frightened by you. And then he also confessed that I must say that even I myself, knowing you from before, being so close to you, receiving these teachings to you for the past 12 chapters, and now concluding the 11th chapter, 10th chapter, even I myself am extremely frightened here. He was honest. He admitted that. Therefore, he says the whole world is frightened. And that he's telling very loudly. And thereafter, in a silent murmur, he says, I'm also very frightened. It says something very, very beautiful for our contemplation. Are we going to experience fear, paralyzing fear? Are we going to be frightened to death when Ishvara comes to separate our soul from the physical body? How are we going to face that event? Because we are going to face. Huh? We never know how soon. It could be any moment. I just, I hope I'm going to be conscious when that comes. So the whole world is frightened by you, the destroyer, the one who comes to bring the physical body back to the basic elements, separate the soul from the body. So I think Swami makes a big function when they are serving. There is a service there. They are serving payasam. That may be something eatable. You love payasam. And you feel like, oh, the person is going all around giving this payasam to everybody, but it's not coming to me. But you feel shy to call the person, oh, you missed me, here, I'm here. Come here. I want payasam. You call him and ask him. The other person does not need it, but after serving him, quietly you say, give me some also to me. That is without the other people knowing. So he's trying to pretend that he did not get his payasam yet, from what I understood here. Similarly, Arjuna used the trick. The whole world is frightened, but I'm also frightened. Okay? I'm not an exception to the rule. So, just touching the verse 24, indeed, I'm frightened at heart by seeing you who is touching the sky, who is brilliant with many colors, whose mouths are wide open, and who has large fiery eyes. I do not find courage or composure, O Lord. I mean, I find this passage so beautiful. It's talking about all of us, as I have mentioned, you know. How are we going to face our moment? Now, how profoundly self-knowledge was established so that we don't fall for this, condition of being frightened, believing that I am the body, and without the body, who knows what's going to happen to me? So is this knowledge a direct knowledge that somehow produce 100% conviction? I am consciousness, free and independent from the body. So how profoundly and firmly established is this knowledge? We will see when our time comes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Okay, namaste. Good to see you back. Mark?
Yeah, thank you. Good to be back. Sorry I've been away. I've been traveling, been inconvenient to attend the classes. So good to be back.
Okay, we meet again this coming Monday. Okay?
Great.
Thank you, Arlen.
Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.